Okay, here's a quick, easy little project. A coat rack. I found this board in the garage. I'm not sure where it came from, but apparently it's been used before, so we're going to go ahead and reuse it. And the first thing I usually do on something like this, I get all my layout and all my holes drilled first. I found the center of the board, and then I measured out 8 inches on one side, and I measured out 8 inches on the other side. So studs in an average house are 16 inches apart. So each one of these screws should hit a stud. And there were some other holes. I patched them, I sanded everything, and I always pre-drill all my holes first, just for the simple fact, after you paint it, you don't want to be drilling holes and have a chance of scratching it or marring it up. And this is the back side, so flip it over. Here's one hole I got, and here's the other mounting hole. Now what I did is I countersunk these two holes, and I'll show you why I did that. Let me get my drill. Now when you mount this on the wall, pretend we're mounting it, you're going to screw it to the wall like so. And that screw is countersunk underneath the wood a little bit. So I have it set up, and I pre-drilled the holes for the hook. You can set your hook right over that hole and screw it to the board, and you will not see any unsightly screw holes. One thing that kind of is one of my pet peeves is when you see something mounted to the wall and they don't take a little bit of time to hide how they mount it. And I have these holes pre-drilled for the center. And the last one, and you'll do the same thing to this side. Screw it to the wall first, and then you just screw your hooks on, and it'll look like it's just floating on the wall or stuck to the wall. You will not see any screw holes. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go ahead and paint it. I'm going to paint it red, and then I'm going to put a black glaze over it, kind of tone the red down just a little bit, and then I'll put a clear coat on there, and it'll be ready to go. Now normally if I'm painting a cabinet door or something that requires paint on both sides, I always do the back side first. We'll never see this back side when it's mounted, but it still looks kind of ugly, so I'm going to put a quick coat of paint on that. And the reason why I do the back side first is because when you flip it over, if it's not all the way dry and it leaves a mark or something, you want it on the back side, not the side that people see. So when I paint the front side, I won't have to flip it over anymore, and it'll be ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing painted red, and I'll come back and then we'll get ready to do the glazing part of it. Alright, talk to you in a little bit. Okay, we're back. I have this piece painted red. Now we're going to apply the glaze, and I'm just going to slap it on real quick. And it doesn't have to be pretty the first go around, because we'll fix that here in a minute. I'm just trying to get the glaze on there, just so it's on there. And if you have a soft bristled brush, that's what you want to use to apply the glaze. And all this is some black house paint with some water and some clear glaze that you can pick up at Lowe's, Home Depot, anywhere like that. So just slap it on the best you can. About got it. Now that the glaze is on there, I'm going to take another brush and just kind of lay it off a little bit, bring some of that red through. Now the more pressure you put on, the more you're going to take off. And you can see how this glaze tones down the color of the whole piece. And there is quite a bit of red coming through. This gives it another different look. And if you wanted less glaze on there, you could probably take a damp rag and wipe over it. I kind of like that. So I think I'm going to leave it like that, and then when it's dry, I'll put a coat of varnish on it, and I'll call it done. So we'll come back in a little while after it dries and after I put a clear coat on it. We'll install the hardware and we'll see what the finished product looks like. Alright, thank you. Okay, we're back. Here's the finished product. After I let the glaze dry on there for a while, I went back with a water-based polyurethane. It dries quick and does not yellow. And I put 2 coats on that. When it was dry, I put the hardware back on. And now it's ready to go. I have all the hooks screwed in, but if you remember from earlier, there is a screw, mounting screw behind here and one behind here. And then when you put the hooks back on, there's no way to see how it's mounted to the wall. So I'm going to use this as a promotional gift on my website, and I'm going to give it to one of my visitors. But you will have to go to my website at trashtotreasureforyou.net to get all the details. Alright, well, there's one down. About 50 more to go. Thank you.